Hey everybody, Happy New Year. This is Alex here, StudioFernandina. Welcome to the December update, the last video in this video blog challenge thing about my life as an artist over the last year. First of all, Star Wars was fucking awesome, and I hope everyone had a good night last night, and a Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year, and all that fun stuff. Everyone was safe. Camping was pretty cool too. I went camping for my birthday. I didn't watch the last video, so that was sweet. I mean, would have been nice if I did it with some friends, but it was one of those last minute kind of things, and it's one of those things where you just get out of life and just go somewhere else and just ignore and pretend all the realities of the world don't exist for a few days. But that was still awesome. But anyways, like I said, this December update. The last color I had to do in December, the last color on my color palette was gold, and I got one of them done. So as far as the year goes, I've rounded out the year with, I was originally supposed to create 36 works of art. It was one from each category of these three styles of drawing and painting that I've come accustomed to, that I like doing. It's not the only thing I can do. It's just, it's some of the stuff that comes easiest to me that I can do in my free time, or that I can do just to zone out, or just to kind of like a meditation type thing for me, or whatever. But either way, the three things that I like and I do the most when I'm not trying to do something specific with any artwork. So I got, compared to if you watch the November update, I was finishing up the shape and line drawings from all the years, and I showed you the four that I had gotten done up to that point when I reshot the November update in mid-December. And I'm going to post that update, I'm going to post this update, and then some other videos through January, so changing up the style for next year, sort of. But I show you at least the gold one. I only got one thing done for December, unfortunately, but this guy is the gold shape and line drawing, and I went back to having detached colors, or detached shapes. Actually, I think it's supposed to be, this is the way I drew it. So the bright one's supposed to be the top. But anyways, I did a couple of these larger ones instead of the 8x10s, like the smaller guys that I did, for catching up for those other 4 months, the ones I showed you in the last video. But it's just, 4 shades of gold, and 1 or 2 of these might be borderline, like bronze or whatever else you want to call it, but they're the ones that worked for the gold. I know there's a lot of damn light in this video. It's real bright out right now, plus I got these lights on and I'm too lazy to turn them off and restart this. But, it's all just gel pen, then the India ink for the fine lines that differentiate where I color in between the lines. So if one thing you can see, I've become really, really good at coloring between the lines. Sometimes I go outside of the lines, and then I get all sad because the color went outside the lines, and it just makes me sad. Anyways, the other one that I hadn't done is the one for November, the silver one. I got that done, and this thing has 4 shades of silver in it, the same way that I had 4 shades of gold in it. I think it's really supposed to be this way, but this is how I drew it, at least. The same type of thing, just basic shapes in the middle, but what I've been playing around a lot more, as you can see, I think I touched on it in the last video, is where I've been messing with the interior shapes a little bit more, especially where they overlap, and getting it to the point where the lines in the shapes correspond with the lines outside of the shapes. And depending on what layer or what position the shape is in, that determines which lines you see, which ones you don't. And there's kind of a science to it. There's also kind of just me sitting there looking at it and seeing what looks good, and what I think looks good, and what I think will work. But I like this, and especially with these pens, like I was talking about, finally buying the other set of gel pens to finish one of those random works that I did, that multicolored green one, that I don't know if you can see the texture that you get from the pens a little bit. I mean, you might be able to, But either way, when you see it in person, you can see the texture from where the pen is. And these aren't like super high quality gel pens. You know, this thing killed 2 pens of some of the colors and most of the other two. So it's not like it's real. It's not the G2. You know, these guys, the Pilot G2 stuff, which are real good ones. It's just, you know, they're just, you know, nothing too crazy special, gel writer, tech gel, whatever, pen. And that's the easy way to get a variety of colors. And as far as the drawing goes, when I paint, and then I can mix whatever paints together and make whatever shades and colors I want. But for drawing, you know, the high quality ink of gel pens is not conducive to this style of drawing, I guess. Anyways, the third one that I got done was the last of the backtracked ones. Is brown. It's for, what was brown? August was brown. But same thing, you know, they're all a combination. These three had some metallic and some glitter in them. I wasn't really going one or the other. I was just picking the shades that I thought would look good and suited the color that it was supposed to represent. And this one was just basic. It was just 2 colors, 2 shades. I mean, one on the top, one on the bottom. And I did a little bit the same thing of putting the lines through the bottom, and so you can kind of see where it blends into the rest of it, like down here. And I did another circle, and I've been, you know, even last night when I went out for New Year's, I went and I did a couple doodles in my sketchbook. I was waiting for some friends and talking to some other people and showing them stuff, but I was playing around with the circles a little bit to try to integrate them more into this style of drawing and painting, to do more than just straight edge shapes. And it's something I'm going to experiment more with this upcoming year. But that's all I did artwork wise, all I got done. I just ended up working, picking up some shifts, and, you know, doing what you have to do to pay the bills. And I just didn't feel like I could have done the paintings, I could have worked on the stuff, but I didn't want to sacrifice sleep and sacrifice my ability to actually work just to get the stuff done. So it's getting to the point where, you know, you have to choose certain things. You know, if I can operate on less sleep, but I enjoy sleep, so, you know, I'm not going to deprive myself of sleep most times. But anyways, that's as far as the art goes, that, like I said, that was it. So you can just stop watching the video now. But like I said, if I look back on the whole thing this year, I talked about it in the last few videos. I mean, I started this when I didn't have a job, when I left my other job last year, well, 2 years ago now, at the end of 2015. And I had some savings, and I figured I wasn't going to work over the holidays, and this idea popped into my head after some of my swinging around in the hammock and just kind of meditating and zoning out and just doing whatever and trying to figure out what I wanted to do, especially with my artwork. And that's how I came up with this video thing, just to do it, to kind of force myself to grow, get comfortable with doing anything like this, with any videos, or even just talking about it, like expressing myself, like showing off, for lack of a better term, selling myself as an artist, representing myself, just instead of just drawing it or painting it and just, you know, leaving it here. I mean, I have so many works of art, you know, even just around me right now, that they're just here. You know, I drew it, I made it, I'm like, oh, this is cool, and then it's just in the corner of my room somewhere, just collecting dust. So it's just one of those small step type of things to try to get myself out there and to get back into what I was doing even middle school and high school. We were doing art shows and critiquing each other's work, and there was that social aspect to that. I mean, it was easy because it was all free back then. And now it's like you're balancing your life. You have to work. Some people have families, and other people, you know, you got jobs, you got bills, you got everything else you got to deal with in life. And, you know, those adult challenges that you don't necessarily have when you're in high school. And I don't know, it was fun. And if you watch, sum up the videos throughout the year, I mean, like I said, in the middle of the year, I finally started working again. Then I started working a second job, and then out of nowhere, I had to move when I thought I wasn't gonna have to move. So it was things that I had to deal with. And in the middle of the year, I just took a kind of slump because I was working so much and moving, and my expenses, tripled essentially. And I went to not a dark place, but it got to that point where I'm like, well, I did consider not doing this. I did consider just stopping. I'm like, I haven't done it for like a few months. What am I even kidding myself with? But once I got into the new place and I had these 2 vacations that were already planned and paid for and everything, so in the middle of moving, like I hadn't even had a new place. Didn't even have this place yet, and I took a vacation because it was bought and paid for and everything. And I flew to the other side of the country to hang out with some friends for the week and meet the Master Chief in Cortana, Steve Downs, Jen Taylor from Halo. Hell, I even hung out with Darren DePaul for a few hours, and this little group thing that was fucking amazing. He's a cool dude. But so those vacations kind of came in at that perfect time, where just it allowed me to ignore the reality of my situation and just kind of zone out and then take a look from a fresh perspective and talk to my friends and see what else was going on and just be like, look, this is what makes me happy. This is what I want to do, and this is what I need to be doing to continue being happy and to grow and be happier. So I've learned a decent amount. Like I said, I started out real happy in the year, and then it just kind of got to a mute area around April, May, and June, and August when I just felt like all hope was lost. And then the last few months have been continuously getting better and happier again, even though I'm nowhere in the financial stability range that I was in 2015 and earlier. That's what I want to work to get back to, and I will. It's not like it's a thing that won't happen. I keep working at it. It's a long-term plan thing. It's like my life changed, so I just had to readjust, and it was just a difficult year to readjust with, especially with expanding and growing my artwork into a full part of my life as much as I have this year, and as much as I want to continue to grow and involve it and hopefully turn it into a career that can actually pay my bills. So I'll sum it up. I'll let you guys go. Like I said, I'm going to do another video about the other projects and things that I've started this year and what I've fleshed out and worked on, and I'll explain kind of what I want to do for the future of this video thing. So I'm keeping this YouTube page going. I want to do some more art stuff. If you've noticed, the first video that I actually put out, those time-lapse videos of the drawings I did back in January and February, those seem to be the ones that viewed the most because, everyone likes just seeing the art being created. But that wasn't the initial reason why I made these videos. But especially as I have the money to, buy a few more cameras and actually mount something on the wall so I don't have to set up my iPhone on RD's hole and balance it weird. So if I actually have like a GoPro or something that I can invest in to do more of that stuff on the fly, then it'll be easier to post these things and, just show the world my artwork and what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, that this is, real, that it's something cool and special. But anyways, like I said, I hope you all had a Happy New Year.